So what's the question now?
The question is, what kind of changes would you make out front? We're currently sitting here waiting for the agent, so I'd like to talk a little bit about the outside.
So as far as the outside goes, obviously we need to address the roof and make sure that it is watertight.
Yep.
That's priority number one. And then from there down, I would make sure that all the gutters are working. I mean, it's been raining today, so it's actually kind of nice. We get the chance to see that. I'd want to make sure that water is not in any way entering into the house and is moving away from it. So that's priority number one for me.
Yep.
As far as aesthetics, we'd have to decide whether to clean off the front and repaint it, which is certainly possible. The other option is to chip out either all or some of the existing rendering that's on the front and get rid of that and expose more of the stone.
The stone is really beautiful. You can see it on the side,
Yeah,
which I've
it really
taken in
is
other
stunning.
videos.
So whether we'd have to decide, you can see the beautiful stonework around. I'd certainly want to keep that no matter what we did, but it's coming up with what that plan looks like. There's some ugly bits that need to be cleaned up. Obviously you would want to, clean, and then in the bottom part put maybe some pavers down. We had talked about putting pavers down and then having moss grow up between them. I think that would be really nice.
Yeah, there's a tiny little stretch of patio. You can't see it, like a little sidewalk in front of the house. You may not be able to see from here.
These doors would be gone.
In a nanosecond, they would be gone. They're ugly, ugly,
Now,
ugly.
The window down here and the window over here, they're aluminum. I'd probably get rid of them as well and turn them into nicer, maybe even remade custom windows. Up top is more complicated because it's a double layer of window. On the outside is aluminum, on the inside is wood, and so the original probably is the wood. If we could get rid of the aluminum and bring back the wood with maybe double glazing, that seems like a better scenario than the way it looks. But I think honestly, as far as like in the first 6 months, I'm okay with just cleaning it up. And
I think it's going to take 6 months to clean it.
It might. But then as far as the land goes, we've got a lot of cleanup that needs to be done. Just in this area alone, you've got a bunch
little
of
area.
trees.
You've had a fern explosion over
Yes.
here.
We've got to get rid of all the bracken and variety of sundry trees and future trees that are growing, and get rid of all that. Clear out, either cut down those trees. I may even cut down those trees right there.
Which ones? The ones that,
Yeah.
They're not fruit trees. They're
they're
just
fruit trees.
they're just boundary trees, really,
so
for the
I would
neighbor's
probably replace
plot.
them as fruit trees.
Yeah.
Because everything on the land, with the exception of some of the more mature trees, I would love to have them be fruit trees or nut trees, something that produces food for us.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, these cypress are, well over, at least according to the people we were talking to, well over 100 years old. We're not going to cut those down unless they get dangerous. But everything else, it would be nice to be able to, really start cultivating more of an orchard effect, more of the apples for cider, more of the kiwis, and all the things we have seen growing around here.
What I love about this is that we do have this great big space out here. So this is all ready to do whatever you want to do with. So what we're talking about having to change is actually a relatively small area of the land. And it's really just kind of a cleanup of stuff that's just been left to go a little bit wild.
Yeah.
So you're probably looking at a couple of weeks of cleanup.
Cleanup of clearing out.
Clean up and clearing out of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But afterwards, think about how much you recapture from that.
Yeah. Well, and then as you scroll over, you're panning over towards the barn. Mm-hmm. The barn, again, out front and around it, it just needs to be cleaned out.
Yeah.
But that barn is in great condition.
It's in really good condition.
Yeah. We should actually go look at it again and take a video in there.
All right. I'm pausing now to go to